Welcome to What the Wrestling, the podcast where you break down the biggest moments, hottest takes, and the wildest stories from the world of pro wrestling. Whether you're a diehard fan or just stepping into the squared circle, we're here to give you the real scoop on everything happening in the ring.
I'm your host, RJD, and we're about to take a ride through the latest and greatest in pro wrestling. Get ready for all our hot takes, deep dives, and all the wrestling you never knew you needed.
Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button and join What the Wrestling family so you never miss an episode. Now let's step into the ring.
You're listening to the What the Wrestling podcast, the show that brings you all things wrestling with your host, RJD.
Oh, you already know what time it is. Clash in Paris, everybody, has come and gone. And dare I say, it was a good show. Dare I say it was a good show. Listen, we're not going to sit up here and disrespect Clash in Paris like it wasn't a good show because it was. So, before we get into it, hit the like button. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. As always, man, got a nice little bit to talk about today because of Clash in Paris. But before I do that, welcome everybody to What the Wrestling, the show that brings you all things wrestling. I am your host, RJD. And once again, hit the like button. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Tis I. So, no updates as of yet, so we're going to keep the ball rolling and just get straight into it. Clash in Paris, coming from you by way of Paris. Yes. First things first. First thing I have to do when we talk about these shows, these overseas shows, the first thing we have to do is give a shout out to the crowd, Don DeMarco. Don DeMarco, every single one of you crazy, crazy, crazy sons of itches out there in Paris. My God, 30,000 people going absolutely crazy for WWE, for wrestling in general. I love it. These international crowds don't really get a lot of shows. So when they do get some shows and people show up and show out, man, they show up and show out and they go absolutely crazy for everything that they see. And that just adds a element to the show that is unlike anything else because it could turn an average, okay, decent match into a banger. It can turn a banger into an all-time great. So I just want to say thank you to the Paris brothers and sisters for making this a pleasurable watching experience for me, the viewer at home. That was awesome. That's number one. Number two, we gotta stop the show. Stop the show. You crazy bastards. Even though I love y'all, some of y'all out of control. All right. Please stop swarming the goddamn wrestlers at the mall, at their Uber, when they're coming out of whatever. Just stop it, y'all. All right?
Stop it.
Act like you've seen some people before. Understand, these people put their bodies on the line for our enjoyment and entertainment. There's no need to crash Rhea Ripley at her Uber, and she's all freaked out, probably like you don't know what's gonna happen. She's like, I guarantee you, she's probably like, oh shit, like what's gonna happen? Am I like all these people coming up to me at once? It's like the mob coming up to somebody. It's crazy. On top of Sheamus, some lady almost got trampled, and Sheamus had to go help the damn lady up. Like, oh, you okay? You okay? You okay, young lady? I do a bad accent, but y'all gotta relax, man. Y'all gotta relax. Don't be stupid. That's an L. Come on, y'all. Relax. I get it. These people are famous. You might not ever see them. You might see them once in your lifetime. They signed something for you. You could sell it and make some money. I get it. Believe me, I do. But act like there's still people at the end of the day. Act like you've been somewhere before. Act like you've seen some people before. They're just people. They're people that are on TV every week. They put up their bodies on the line, but they're just people. Don't be weirdos. Don't be marks out there. Oh, Rhea Ripley trying to snatch selfies and run up on her at her Uber. Come on, y'all. What are we doing? What are we doing, y'all? Come on. We got to stop the nonsense. Okay, besides that, Clash in Paris. So, first things first, this was a solid show. Pretty much one thing on the show that was kind of, one thing on the show that was kind of meh. And we're going to get into it. And we're starting with Big Bronson Reed and your OTC, your tribal chief. Now, this was pretty much set up. Everything in this was set up for the ending. The match itself wasn't too much to sneeze about. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't like a all-time banger. The thing about Roman Reigns matches, it's like ever since the tribal chief character became about, ever since then, it's like he does what he needs to do, and that's it. He doesn't really do a lot, but the crowd, he's so over, it really doesn't matter. Like Roman Reigns is a star, CM Punk a star. You just could tell the stars, and even my wife was sitting there watching it, and she's like, "It must be crazy." He comes out and everybody got ones, like the whole freaking nobody say, even if nobody's cheering, they got their ones up. That's a star for you. And this was, I did think Roman was gonna win, but I think it sucked that he did win because I think Bronson Reed could have used the win. Roman loses nothing from giving Bronson Reed a win here, and he's gonna be off TV for at least the next 30 days. So he could have easily lost this match, but he didn't. He won. Pretty standard stuff, 50-50 stuff. It was a back and forth match. Early on in the match, Roman tried to pick him up, but he fell down. They basically went back and forth, toe to toe. There was let's go towards the end. There was a Death Valley driver, a sit out power bomb, and a suicide dive performed with smoothness by the big 315-pound brother Bronson Reed. Reed scaled the corner post for the tsunami, but Reigns moved out of the way, intercepted Reed with a Samoan drop from the second rope, and he stunned Reed, staggered him, and hit a spear, just one, for the win. So Roman gets the win, but the match was like 20 minutes. And the first 10 minutes of this match, it seemed like they didn't really do nothing. They were just playing to the crowd. Bronson was like, who's the man? OTC was like, I'm the OTC. They didn't really do much. But then the second half of this match, stuff started happening. Crowd amped this match up. But the post-match beatdown was very long, and I don't think it needed to be. So at the end of this match, Roman Reigns goes for his payback on Mr. Paul Heyman. He asks for his shoe back. So he got his shoes. Then he puts the guillotine on Mr. Paul Heyman, just guillotines him to death. He's done. He's out of there. He goes up onto the announce table to throw his shoes. He's signing the shoes and throwing them. He got 2 shoes off, but he cut them. They cut the shoes, and then he got 2 shoes into the crowd before freaking Braun Breaker comes. I was about to say Braun Steiner. Braun Breaker comes out of nowhere, hits him with the damn spear, and calls it a day. Roman's half dead. He's selling his spear like he's crazy. They throw him in there, and he gets hit with a tsunami on top of that. So now he's done. He's flatlined. But they were taking forever to get it done. So they bring the stretcher out. They put him on the stretcher. They strap him down. Then he comes back out, and he gets hit with another tsunami unprotected because he can't protect himself because he's strapped down. Finally, Jay decides to come down. Some cousin you are. Two tsunamis and a damn spear to holy hell, and then you finally decide to come down? Come on, Jay. Come on, Jay. So finally, Jay comes down, fights them off, but they come back, they fight back, and then Jay gets speared to holy hell, and then they leave again. A lot more people come out, and he gets hit with a third tsunami. And then at that point, that was all she wrote. Everybody comes down. The heels finally get out of there, and they stretcher him off. So there was this awesome spear too after the first spear where he was trying to leave, and Braun Breaker just runs full speed and like launches himself in front of the aisleway and launches himself and spears Roman, set up for the second tsunami. That was pretty cool. So Jay was selling the ribs, and that would be his undoing at the end of the night. But at the end of the day, the post match was great. There was nothing wrong here, but did they really need to take this long? I mean, like, goddamn, it's like a whole hour went by and this match happened. Like, this shit was crazy. I was like, why is this taking so long? But I get it. They wrote him off. They sent him off happy. Cool. Second match, Wyatt 6 versus the Street Profits. Street Profits were getting this over. You know, we dry humping the air, so we getting that over. And we are teasing the dissension and breakup of the Street Profits. And at the end of the day, where did the Street Profits go from here? They did not win this title. This was a solid match. It was more so a sprint than anything else. But my thing is this. Where do they go from here? Where do the Street Profits, what do they do? Took them a while to get the tag titles again. The tag team division is kind of meh at best in the whole WWE. SmackDown obviously got a better tag team division than Raw, but it's like, now what? At the beginning of the match, Montez Ford kind of wanted to start, and Dawkins hit him with the, yo, my man, I said, I got this. And then Montez smacked him and said, I got this. And then they sprinted towards the end. This was a very good match to me. This was solid stuff. Crowd was into the Wyatt 6, but the end came where Eric Rowan got involved, but then I believe it was Dexter Lumis came out of nowhere, leaping senton. He hit Dexter Lumis with a leaping senton over the post. And after that, Rowan came in, but I think Montez got thrown off. And after that, they tried to get Ford back into the ring, but Nikki Cross grabbed his leg. And after he grabbed his leg, he got hit. He got thrown back in. And then he got hit with Sister Abigail, then got thrown back in. Ref didn't see it. And Joe Gacy and Loomis beat him with the double power bomb called the Plague, where it kind of throw a suplex into a power bomb. Kind of cool. But Montez Ford, Dawkins, they lose. And where do we go from here? Now, if it's anybody that I want to see go heel, it's Montez. Now, do I believe Dawkins can go heel? Absolutely. I believe either one of these brothers can go heel and be successful, but I think the money man is Montez. But Dawkins, both of these brothers are very athletic, and Dawkins is a big dude. And Montez is more slim, but he's more athletic, but Dawkins is athletic too. And Dawkins, I think, on the mic, I think both of these guys will be good on the mic. I think both of these guys are good. I just think the money is in Montez Ford going heel. And I hope they start to tease it and actually do something with it. And let's see. Listen, it worked for Naomi. Seems like Bayley is teetering on that same wave. Let's give him and maybe he'll go heel with Bianca, because Bianca's going to be a great heel too. Ooh, I can't wait. But this was also very good. And then Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella. All right, so I'm not going to say the match sucked, but what I will say is that it was the weakest match on the card. Why is that? I don't think these two had great chemistry, and honestly, the level of talent Nikki Bella was working with in that Divas era is not the level of talent she's working with right now. When you got the Lyra Valkyrias and the Baileys and the Becky Lynches and the the Io Skies and Rhea Ripley's and even the Liv Morgans, you got all of these people who are absolutely fantastic in the ring. The Divas era, maybe you had AJ Lee, who honestly was good in the ring, and Paige. But other than that, in the ring, a lot of those ladies were alright. They weren't great. They were alright on their best day. And it just seems like these two didn't really click. Things were a little sloppy. There was one embarrassing moment where Nikki Bella went up for like a disaster kick, or she went up for like a something on the second from the second rope, and Becky was nowhere near her, so she was expecting her to be there, and she wasn't. She got kind of kicked. She kicked the air, and then Becky had to sell it like, okay, I have to sell this, and then they got back on the same page. And then there was a spot where Nikki is throwing her into tables, and it's like one, 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 two, one, two, one, two, and she's like going from table to table, but it didn't look believable. It didn't look good. The way they shot at the angle, it didn't look great. It's like obviously you don't want to smash the person's head into the table for real, but it just didn't look that great. I think it was more so the camera angle, and she won with like the roll up, not a roll up, but it was like I don't know what you call that move, but where the person has them in like a razor's edge and they kind of do like this and their feet are dangling. So she won with that. It was cool. Nothing crazy here, but at the end of the day, this was alright. It was the weakest thing on the show for me. But Nikki Bella, she is working. She got her working shoes on. So we're not gonna get mad at her for having her working shoes on. And speaking of working shoots, we had another banger after a banger after a banger match by Sheamus and Rusev. A good old fashioned Donnybrook match. This was fantastic. So we had kendo sticks. We had the ten beats. Sheamus got hit with the 10 beats, and then he did the 10 beats 3 consecutive times to Rusev. One at the bar, one on the rope, and one in the crowd. So that was all cool. These two beat the holy shit out of each other. Now they are legit friends in real life, and you never will. Nobody beats your ass like your friend, because you could take certain liberties with your friend that you ain't gonna take with regular people. And Sheamus is taking liberties with anybody, but these two just beat the hell out of each other, and it was great. And Sheamus is all lumped up in the beginning of the match. Rusev doing what he does. Finally, the crowd took a little while to get into this, but they did get into it towards the end. So we're gonna pick it up where they both got on top of. First of all, they both got on top of these two big ass barrels, these whiskey barrels, and the accolade was put on Sheamus, and then Sheamus fought out of it on top of the barrels, and then they both went through 2 tables that were stacked up early in the match. Then they fought their way over to the bar, and Sheamus ends up going through the bar that they had set up. That looked like it sucked for real. Then they get back in, they're beating the hell out of each other. Rusev grabs the shillelagh and gets hit with the bro kick, and the bro kick and Rusev kicks out. And at the end of the day, nobody really kicks out of the bro kick. It's still very protected, which is great. But I thought it was over there with the bro kick. Then Rusev hit another big kick, and that was a 2 count. But then Rusev said after this, finally puts him in the modified accolade where he leans all the way back and he has the shillelagh, which he broke on Sheamus's back, basically puts it in his mouth like that, and he's in the accolade and he is forced to tap out. And they said on commentary, only the second time in his whole career he has tapped out. Not passed out, but tapped out. And I was like, I never knew that he only tapped out twice. So if you're going to tap out to anybody, why not your best friend, right? I mean, come on. Why not your best friend? This was fantastic, Don DeMarco. This was absolutely fantastic. Rusev really needed a big win. He needs to move on and do something great. If you're not going to make these two a tag team and just have them beat the shit out of everybody, Rusev needs to be in a tag. He needs to be to the next level and fighting for gold and beating somebody up. and in the storyline. And he needs to be cutting Redeemer-like promos with Redeemer-like vignettes. Obviously, you can't call him the Redeemer, but he needs to talk about how the pagans, you and your pagan ways, I will not allow you to talk to me and my God this way. My God said that I had to defeat you, and the only way to do that was to defeat you the hard way. Such is the way of the Redeemer. I don't know what he needs to do, but he needs to do something like that. Cut those Redeemer promos, call it whatever you want to call it, and have him whipping people's asses. That's all we need from Mr. Rusev / Miro. That's it. That's all we need. So, next we had a many people's match of the night. John Cena versus Logan Paul. First things first, I want to give a shout out to Logan Paul and John Cena. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Say what you want about Logan Paul. Logan Paul is a great professional wrestler. He can wrestle his ass off, very athletic, does what he has to do, and he'll bump around, bump his ass off. He is very good, and he's only going to get better as time goes on. So we got to give Logan his flowers. John Cena turned back the clock. Now, it also depends on John Cena's opponent, but these two were taking moves from this person, moves from that person. We saw buckshot lariats. We saw wings, the Christopher Daniels, the Angel's wings. We saw buckshot lariats. We saw attitude adjustments. We saw frog splashes one after the other. We saw goddamn Styles Clash in this match. We saw who else got their move taken? We saw a Styles Clash in this match. I mean, this match was absolutely. We saw a code red by John Cena. Haven't seen one of those from him in a minute. We're not going to sit up here and say John Cena. I appreciate him now. Well, maybe when did AJ come in? Around 2016, 17? I appreciated John Cena around the time when he was fighting AJ Styles and all that, to realize how good he actually was. I mean, he's a little bit slimmer now. You know, as you get older, you slim down the muscle mass. You don't lift as heavy. Still jacked as all hell, but he slimmed down a little bit. But he's still a massive man, so he's no small man. And he turned back the clock and said, tonight we're going to put our boots on. And last time ever, let's go to work. And he went to work tonight. He went to work. I wouldn't be surprised if he woke up today in his hotel room or whatever and was like, oh, shit, I need an ice bath. Oh, we need the ice bath immediately. It would not surprise me. Not even a little bit. It would not surprise me. So, shout out to John Cena. The end came where we had a Styles Clash. I thought it was over after that. We had a pair of attitude adjustments, and then he finally got the win. But like I said, this was back and forth. We had a 5-knuckle shuffle, and by him and Logan. So, listen, these guys, go back and watch it. This is one I would say, on his Fail World Tour, this is one that I will go back and watch. I will go back and watch this because these two pulled out all the stops. This freaking crowd was going absolutely ape shit for both these guys. This was great. Awesome stuff here. Last time in Paris, I'll take it. This was awesome. Shout out to the Styles Clash too. Shout out to you for that. Now, main event, we had main event Jey Uso, LA Knight, yeah. We had Seth freaking Rollins, and we had CM Punk. Now, this was good. This was very good. Everybody got their time to shine. LA Knight ran through everybody at one point. Jey Uso was super kicking the hell out of everybody at one point. Everybody got their time to shine, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to how it ended. So, how it ended. Inside the ring, Rollins and Uso exchanged finishing moves for near falls. Rollins limited variables by hitting Uso and LA Knight with curb stomps at ringside. Punk dodged the steel chair, assisted curb stomp, lined up the champion for a GTS, and before Punk could land the critical blow, because he hit him with one GTS and then he kind of fell on him, he was going to hit him again. Before he could, the masked person comes into the ring and he hits him in the cojones, unfortunately, Paul Heyman style. And she took her mask off. Now, the crowd was dead silent for this, but she took her mask off and it was revealed to be Becky freaking Lynch, because earlier in the night, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker got kicked out, and Adam Pearce said, if either one of you come back, you're suspended indefinitely without pay. So this all set up the end, because without that stipulation, this doesn't mean as much. So everything happened at the end. Lynch reveals herself. He gets hit with a curb stop again for his good measure onto a chair. And 1, 2, 3, that's all she wrote. And at the end of the day, he did mention a couple of things. He was like, I hate you, Punk. I hate your family. I was like, I hate your family. Then he was like, Punk, you're never going to win. You're never going to do this. Punk came down and said, April, Larry, this is for you. I'm like, Now, if this does not set up AJ Lee, then that's just disrespectful. Why would you even tease it? Like, why? Why would you do that? If this does not set up AJ Lee coming in and them having a mixed tag match, I mean, because AJ Lee she doesn't have to do much because it's a mixed tag match. So you can kind of, hide the ring rust or whatever. And I'm sure she's going to train her ass off. But if this doesn't set that up, then what the hell you do this for? It depends on the follow-up. Why would you say certain things? Everything means something. WWE doesn't just do anything for no reason. So this has to be setting up something with AJ Lee coming in. I hope it does. If her music hits, crowds will go apeshit. Everybody's been asking for her to come back for years. They've been asking for her to come back just as long as they've been asking for Punk to come back. So I think, and she was in heels. She was in heels wrestling. Okay, that happened. I was a fan of heels. It sucks that the show got canceled. Hopefully they find a way to bring it back. I think it was a good show. It deserved one more season, but that's just me. But this has to be setting that up. It has to be. Because if it's not, then WWE is just trolling us. And they are stupid if that's the case. Because why even do it this way? But that was Clash in Paris. So at the end of the day, very, very good show. Very good show with two very good matches. Becky Lynch. John Cena, Logan Paul, Donnie Brooke match. Two very good matches in the middle of the show and a solid main event with the crowd adding to the overall ambiance of this show. So I'm going to give it a thumbs up. Thumbs up show for me. That's all I can say. So with that being said, I am out. Everybody be safe. Monday Night Raw tomorrow. The Monday Night Raw review will be out Tuesday, so look out for that. As for me, I am out of here. Be safe. I know I missed the SmackDown review, but I heard it wasn't nothing to sneeze at. Anyway, we'll catch SmackDown this week. I promise I got you. As for me, I'm out. Peace.